Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm your host and Around the Horn here on Friday, Ray Flowers. Now, I warned you all spring not to draft Justin Morneau. I was worried about the concussion. I was worried about his slow rehab in the process of coming back from that concussion. And here we are a couple weeks into April, and I know it's early and I preach patience and all that. But Morneau's hitting 239. He hasn't gone deep once. His OPS is barely 600. He hasn't looked good so far. I warned you all spring not to draft Kendrys Morales. He's coming back off that leg injury that he injured after the home run celebration. People didn't listen to me. They drafted him highly. He still hasn't played. In fact, he just started running yesterday. He did 10 sprints of 110 feet. Not a lot of running, folks. The hope is he'll be back in early May. Did you listen to me and avoid Kendrys Morales? Did you also listen to me and consider not drafting any catcher early because of the inherent injury risk? Did you listen? Hopefully you listened when I brought up the case of Joe Mauer. Mauer had a knee issue. He had surgery in the offseason. He really didn't play much at all in spring, yet no one ever talked about it. No one seemed to care that he wasn't out there on the field. Everyone said he would be fine. Well, he's not fine. It's not necessarily his knee that's causing the major concern right now, but it is a contributing factor to what's going on. Mauer been placed on the 15-day disabled list, and Ron Gardenhire, the manager of the Twins, said that it will probably be more than 15 days that Mauer will be required to be out. What's he out with? Well, I'm going to read actually a quote from Gardenhire to explain the situation. He's out with bilateral leg weakness. The bilateral leg weakness is causing all kinds of soreness in his hips, and he's compensating because of his knee that he had operation on, and he's starting to get sore in other places. So basically, because of the knee, he's overcompensating. It's causing another issue. It's this bilateral leg weakness. Now, this can be a significant issue. All early reports we're receiving is it is not an issue, though, that is going to be significant for Mauer. It's not an issue that should hinder him long term, but it is something to be concerned with in the short term. Monday, he'll go and meet another specialist to kind of get clarity here on the situation. Looks like we're probably not going to see Mauer for, again, more than 15 days. But let me repeat, early reports are very good that this is not a situation that's going to be an issue for him long term. Jonathan Herrera. Everyone wants to add Jonathan Herrera. I talked about Angel Sanchez the other day, another middle infielder having a really good start. Jonathan Herrera's hitting the ball well. He's not striking at all. He's taking walks. He's stealing bases. So you want to add him in a mixed league, right? I don't know about that. Jose Lopez can play second. He can play third. In fact, he's played some third base because I don't know how this is possible, but Ian Stewart is hitting 50 so far in the opening of the year, making Jose Lopez and his 184 mark look very good. Lopez is really a replacement level player. He needs to play every day to be of value in a mixed league. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but he's going to play. He's not just going to sit on the bench. As good as Herrera is doing right now, there are concerns there. He does have speed. At the same time, he hasn't stolen more than 25 bases in a season since 2006, and that was at high A, not exactly the highest level of play. I'm concerned about his ability to continue the stolen base pace he has set so far. He's quick. He can steal a bag, but he's not going to be stealing 40 bases this year. He's not going to hit 300 either. He's got a 280 career mark in the minors. And this brings up the biggest issue with Herrera. He has no power at all. His career OPS in the minors is barely 700. He never hits the ball deep. He's just not a very good mixed league option. If you need a short-term fill-in, he's hot right now. He's playing. It's a good thing to look at him. And only league's great thing to have him on your roster. But with the presence of Jose Lopez there, it's going to be tough for Herrera to get a big-time at-bat total this season. A guy that could use a big at-bat total but's not getting it at the big league level is Scott Sizemore of the Tigers. He was up last year. He failed. He went down to the minors, was great. He was great in the minors in 2009. He's back there again this year. He's great again. He's hitting over 400. His OPS is over 1,100. He's tearing it up at AAA. Meanwhile, Will Rhymes, who's playing second base for the Tigers, what's he hitting? 213 right now. He's barely hitting his weight. His OPS is barely 500. I don't know if the Tigers are going to make the move from Rhymes to Sizemore. Rhymes is a better defensive player, but Sizemore doesn't really have much to prove in the minors at this point. He continues to tear it up. Hopefully the Tigers will give him a chance. If he happens to be on waivers in your AL-only league, you want to grab him now before the team does make a move and calls him up. Cliff Lee had a fantastic outing. 3-hit complete game shutout. He had 12 strikeouts, only walked a single batter. And the most exciting thing about his outing is he only threw 99 pitches. Now, according to Paul Sporer, who can be found at @Sporer on Twitter, this is only the 11th time in the history of baseball that a pitcher has struck out at least 10 batters while at the same time throwing fewer than 100 pitches. Lee was on his game last night. His ERA might be a bit elevated to start the year, but he's got a phenomenal strikeout to walk ratio yet again. That guy is money for the Phillies. Alexei Ogando is another player who recently made history. Lots of concern with him starting to grow, hearing some whispers from scouts about whether or not he'll be able to sustain his role in the starting rotation. He's got a high intensity delivery. It may not be repeatable, 100 pitches plus every time out on the hill, but for now he looks very strong. His first 2 outings allowed him to become the first pitcher in the modern era, this is amazing, to have 2 starts to start the year with at least 6 innings pitched, no runs allowed, and 2 hits or fewer. Ogando's making history so far. The question is, can he keep it up for the Rangers? And then finally, Matt Kemp is off to a blazing start. And if you've read my stuff, if you listen to my reports here, if you heard me talk on the drive on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, you know I'm a huge fan of Matt Kemp. I said he's got a chance to go 30-30 this year. Well, he's only got 2 home runs early on, but he has stolen an amazing 8 bases in just 13 games played. He's also hitting .444. He looks fantastic. He's completely locked in, completely focused. The biggest key, though, in addition to everything he's done so far, is his newfound understanding of the strike zone. If he can continue to do what he's doing now, it would be an amazing season for Matt Kemp in my mind. He's got 9 walks and 7 strikeouts, over 1.25 a walk to strikeout ratio, which is fantastic. The big league average is about 0.5%. In his career, it's 0.31% for Matt Kemp. I don't know if he can hold on to the gains he's shown so far, but if he can do that, that monster season I predicted that could happen, very well could happen in 2011. I'm Ray Flowers, BaseballGuys.com. Thanks for joining me here on Around the Horn. Enjoy your weekend.